Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome to Juno New Origins, a game about starting a space program somewhat similar to Kerbal Space Program. That's at least the closest game I know of, and I didn't even know it existed until it released just a couple days ago, so I'm excited to try it out and see kind of how things go. I have played a little bit already, just to kind of see what it was like, but not very much, so we'll be diving into career mode today and trying to put some things in orbit and crash things and make planes and all that good stuff. So then we can open the career dialog, and this is where our contracts will be. And then they'll probably go over this, but milestones are how we unlock tech points. Rather than doing science like in Kerbal Space Program, you hit different milestones, and that's what unlocks, more tech points. And I actually like this system. I think I might like it better. Science in Kerbal Space Program, for me at least, was always really fun in the beginning, like doing science on Kerbin, setting up ScanSats, with mods, going to the moon, and Minmus, but then after that, collecting large amounts of science became less fun for me. We will do the tutorials. I've already done some of these, so I kind of already know what's going on, but just so you guys know what things are like, and I think there's some helpful talking points in the tutorials. And this will automatically use the engine's gimbals, wings, gyroscopes, etc. to point the craft in the right direction. So just like Kerbal Space Program, it'll use all of its control surfaces to get there. And that wants us to go back to being straight up. And here we go. And we can turn that off if we want. But you can also see, our acceleration, our surface velocity, the engine thrust. Our thrust to weight ratio is really important, as always. Burn time, we got 30 seconds left. 1 kilometer a second of delta V. Switch to map mode. You also have a map to find where you are. You can zoom in and out and change how it's oriented. It can be really useful at first when you haven't unlocked the more advanced map view. Hey, Sing Pizza, how's it going? Okay, so we can see here we're over a mountain range. And yeah, our rocket's going. Thrust to weight ratio is not super... Oh, we're on slow-mo. Okay, that's why. I felt like we were going slower than we should be. There we go. That feels better. And we can get, all the different camera views that we want. Ooh. Are there 2 moons? That's fun. Looks like there's 2 moons. We got a Tatooine... Well, I guess Tatooine is a dual suns rather than dual moons. And we just got 10 tech points by getting above 10 kilometers. And our apoapsis, which is the highest that will go, is 43 kilometers right now. We ran out of fuel, so now we're just free floating. And we could change our, pitch by... And then the little gyroscopes are trying to tilt it over, but the airflow is keeping it from tilting over fully. Oh, there's 3 moons. Fun. Okay, so now we're basically just floating, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit. And we're going to float up and then float back down. We're about 20 seconds away from apoapsis. And then we will fall. You can see our prograde marker, and now we're going down. And we could, if we want to you know, if we try to like hold ourselves sideways, that'll kind of try to get the craft going a little bit sideways so we can land farther away from the village. And implosion, or I guess explosion, imminent. I wonder, there's probably a hotkey for this. I need to figure out what that is. And there we go. Completed your contract. Vertical shot. Your craft exploded upon impact. You don't say. In flight, and then money awarded, tech points awarded. You can see we made more than our launch cost, so that's good, because we ain't recovering any of that. What happens if I hit recover? This craft cannot be recovered because it is destroyed. Would you like to save this flight and exit, or you can undo? Yeah, we'll save it. I'll do this one because it's got a tutorial, and it's going to get us to the edge of the atmosphere. And it's also got a nice 80,000 reward. So you can see we've got three little engines going. Oh, Mr. Bacon, you can only zoom in on the area that's directly around the radar. You can't, like, the radar only reveals a certain amount, and then the other spaces outside of that, it'll just show you, like, what resources are on the map. But you won't be able to see it live. Okay, so our first stage is done. And then we just press space to activate our second stage, drop that bad boy. And then we just wait to get to outer space. Or at least low space. Ah, look at the view from up here. Beautiful. Okay, so we're already apoapsis at 70 kilometers and 80. And this number won't go down very much because the drag is pretty low by the time we get this high up, so technically the air will slow us down a little bit once we run out of fuel, but not very much. And there we go. Second engine is all burnt out, and now we just float our way up peacefully. Speed things up slightly. And there we go. Tier 3 of record altitude by exceeding 80 kilometers. And then stage the fairing. And there you go. You've completed the contract. In the flight. Recover the craft. It cannot be recovered because it's not on the ground. Would you like to destroy it instead? I mean, we could leave it, but it's just going to crash anyway, so we'll just destroy it. We have a craft ready for you to use, but it needs a few tweaks to its engines to improve its performance so that it can achieve orbit. Okay, so they just want us to go straight up to start. And the first stage is solid rocket booster, so they don't have any gimbals or anything else, so we just full speed ahead. Supreme Dorian, I think the tutorials are really great to kind of teach the players the basics of like what changing those bars do. As a longtime Kerbal Space Program player, you know, just by playing with it and seeing the you know, specific impulse and the TWR change, like I understood what it was doing already, but I think the tutorials are great for like a newer player. Okay, so our boosters have run out. Where are we? We're actually going pretty slow still. We're only going 200 meters a second. We are right at 8.3 kilometers above sea level. And now we have to throttle up because our next stage is a liquid rocket motor. And you can see our throttle down here. Same controls as Kerbal Space Program, changes with shift and control. So we'll throttle up and hit space to drop our booster stage. And now they want us to set pitch to 70. And this is where going east actually does matter. It's a lot harder. So I'll show you what we mean. If I click the reference frame to orbit, you can see we're actually going that direction. Or maybe it's that. I don't know if the camera's switching. But we're going almost at a 45-degree angle right now. And that's because the initial, because remember we talked about the planet's surface is rotating, right? Well, you keep all of that sideways speed that the planet has when you're on it and you launch off of it. And so we already have, you know, 180 meters a second of sideways speed going east, and we don't want to fight that. So if I were to go west, if I were to go in that direction, then that would fight against the initial sideways speed we had, and you're wasting a lot of delta V to do that. So instead, we want to go with that, and that way we kind of have an easier time of getting into orbit. And you'll notice it was easy to pitch over because of this engine, the liquid engine, has a gimbal, which means it can like change the direction of the nozzle so that it can, you know, keep the craft pointed in a specific direction. Yes, Dorian, I did notice that the Z and X go to full or zero throttle. And then we can do this button here, which locks to prograde, which essentially means the rocket will try to stay pointed at the forwards direction. And then the way that kind of works is your rocket will slowly turn. This is called a gravity turn. And the reason is because, like, gravity is actually adding a downwards force to the rocket. And so as it goes up, the gravity pulls down, which means the actual velocity vector is slightly below the tip of the rocket. And so then it points down a little more and points down a little more. And that's called a gravity turn. And that's how that works. And now our fuel is done. Press space to activate your third stage. And now they want us to burn your engine until your apoapsis, which is our maximum height, essentially, on our curve, passes 100 kilometers. With 80 kilometers being the atmosphere line. So we're almost there. Technically, at this point, we should probably have already switched to orbital frame of reference, but it's fine. Okay, almost. There we go. So now I hit X to cut the throttle, and you can see we still have a lot of fuel left. And if we go into the map view, which I unlocked with one of the technologies, you can see that we have a nice elliptical arc, but then we're going to crash back down into the planet. And so to actually get into orbit, we need to add a lot of sideways velocity when we're at this higher point. And then if we add a lot of sideways velocity, we'll be going sideways fast enough that as the planet keeps pulling us down towards itself, we'll keep falling towards the planet, but we keep flying sideways, and you just never hit it. And that's what orbits are. Okay, so they want me to set pitch to 10 degrees. The orange one, they want me to set to 95. That's probably because the one we launched off of is not, whatchamacallit. It wasn't on the equator. And so launch sites that are not on the equator, you kind of don't want to go straight east when you're circularizing. You want to go slightly southeast because we're, you know, the angle that we're going at isn't exactly... You can't orbit around the top part of the planet. Like, all orbits will orbit around the center of mass of the planet, no matter what. And so we can't go... If we went straight east, that would be going this direction, and you would be trying to orbit around just the top half of the planet, which wouldn't work. So you end up wasting a lot of fuel because you're actually changing a bunch of angles and stuff. So the most efficient orbit is the one that goes in the same direction that you're already above the center of the planet, which right now is a little bit southeast. And that's why they're telling us to change our heading to 95 degrees instead of 90. Because we're adding a little bit of south onto the east. Anyway. Oh, a rocket science book. That sounds fun. Okay, and then we're going to speed up until... See, I do this slightly different. I would have already started my burn, because we're only 60 seconds from the apoapsis, and our burn time is 2.5 minutes. Almost. And so, I would have already started my circularization burn. They have us going until we're much closer to apoapsis. They're saying wait until you're only 20 seconds away from it. And then throttle up to 100. And that's pretty much it. You know, they have us at a 10-degree angle so that fights our vertical. You'll notice our vertical speed, which is relative to the planet, is going down. So we're actually going to start falling here in a second. Right now we're falling towards the planet. So we're on a clock, right? If we don't go sideways fast enough, we're going to end up hitting the planet. And we'll fall back into the atmosphere. And so we need our sideways velocity to speed up before we, you know, get back to that atmosphere line, which is 80 kilometers. Oh, it won't let me play things in the map view. Yeah, was up. That's why they have this 10 degrees here. The pitch of 10 degrees fights against some of that vertical gravity, but it doesn't fight, you know, quite enough. So we're falling down now at 100 meters a second towards the atmosphere. But it'll get us there. The tutorial works. And then you can see our periapsis down here is still in A, which means we'll hit the planet. And, you know, the periapsis is like the bottom of the elliptical orbit. So right now it's inside the planet. It's probably somewhere around here. And it's slowly getting higher up as we add more velocity to the side. And we're down to 30% fuel. We still have 1.2 kilometers a second, which what that means is we can add, you know, 1,200 meters a second of speed to our craft since we're in a vacuum. You need to go faster than 3,500 meters a second in order to get to orbital speeds at this height. You are almost there. Hey, Lone Lord 88, thank you so much for the sub. Very much appreciated. And yeah, you can play things in the map view, just not during tutorials. Yeah, that's the same as Kerbal Space Program. And here you can see our periapsis. Boom, above 80 kilometers. Perfect, so now we're in orbit. And if we look at the map view, You can see we've got a nice little elliptical orbit. And this craft will be in orbit forever. Technically, in real life, it wouldn't do that forever. There's orbital degradation and all sorts of stuff, but in a video game, it should last forever. And we also broke all sorts of milestones. Record altitude. Sweet. So we got a lot of money for that. 400,000, almost $1 million. It did cost us 100,000 to, you know, build the craft though, so it's not cheap. That's not good. And we need to fix our staging. Haha. Deploy at 1500. Oh, they broke. Okay, well, at least we landed in the water. Okay, we got our wet rockets contract. I'll take it. Oh, it lived. Let's just make a plane for the fun of it. Whatever. We'll see how it goes. Everything's gonna break. I haven't checked any of the controls. LOL. Throttle is controlling the wheels and is going backwards. Whoopsies. Hey, it's doing something now. Barely. It's not doing much. Oh my gosh. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, yeah, that was Woo. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Ooh. Oh man, this really doesn't. Oh gosh. Wow. It's going in a straight line now. Mostly. Mostly a straight line. Oh god. Oh god. Not perfectly still. Nope. Ah, come on. Hey, we made it to the end of the runway. Oh gosh. Look at this. Look at this nightmare. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we got a flat spin. Woo. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. So much, especially as it gets faster. What the heck? I literally can't control it. Are you guys seeing this? They're turning down and sideways. No wonder. They're like doing this. I can't vouch for aerodynamic stability, but we at least successfully made it off the runway this time. Oh, so close. Jam the throttle. Oh, wonderful. Okay, we are doing something that could theoretically be described as flying. No! Okay, well, we're flying though. So there's that. Okay, well. Nope. Not going the right way. Can't turn. Oh, right into the statue. Ooh, recover. Nope, not quite. Okay. Nice, easy turn here. Oop, oop, oop. Throttle down there. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Why are we doing that? Oh, gosh. You know what? They say the best landing is the one you can walk away from. And this counts. I am technically on the runway. Oh, there we go. Down the throttle a bit. Down the throttle a bit more. Oh, baby. Throttle off. Hit the brakes. Safe landing. What up? We're rolling. Okay. I am happy with that. We made a plane, we flew, we came back, we landed. That is all I ever wanted in life.